So quite an array of parts is laid out here before you, obviously to do with the radiator and coolant system. This is obviously the lower coolant uh, metal coolant pipe that runs from the water pump. This is its little O-ring here that that this end here fits directly into the water pump, the front of the water pump, and this here is the O-ring. I have blocked off the nipple that would the heater, the carb de-icing system would come down and link into this area here, and but I have blanked that off like I did with the horizontal metal coolant pipe that runs across the back of the cylinder head. So that's blanked off completely. These are the stock radiator shrouds here that I'll be putting back on again. I had removed them because I had been running for a while there these custom made radiator brackets that were made by a guy in Canada, and these are my own little top hat spacers that I machined in brass. And but no, I'll be using the stock radiator shrouds because I just want to go back to the that look for the bike. Obviously, I'm running the stock radiator, which has been refurbished by myself, and a new stock radiator grill that I just prefer the look of that. Just, you know, I mean, they're stock OEM Kawasaki ZRX parts, and I just like that look on this bike. There's the radiator fan and its housing and the heat shield, etc. Now there's some parts there I have obviously made. This part here will go in there like that, you know, and I'll be using a titanium screw there that just goes in there like that. I prefer that over the stock metal steel one. And let me see, the other thing is that I'll be running is my own machined titanium. These are the radiator retaining these are the bolts for the radiator shrouds, and these are the radiator upper mounting bolts. And you'll see here this little brass tool that I also made to accompany these. I'll just show you how that works now in a wee minute once I put this camera on a tripod to free up my hand. So the way they work is, I mean, they're obviously replacing the stock steel ones that would be used, but you know, you can see here there's no provision for screwing them in, but these little decorative holes that look like little decorative holes around them, but they're actually holes that this brass tool that I made to accompany these parts fit into, and that just basically locates in like that. See, like that, and then that. It's knurled as well, you know, so you can screw them in by hand, and then to tighten them up, you just use that there, and that tightens them up. And this tool also accompanies these upper radiator ones as well, you know. So anyway, those are all of my own design, and just bear with me while I fit this lot and get that part of it all buttoned up again. Okay, guys, thanks. So we'll be putting this lot together in just little sub-assemblies, and the first thing we want to do is to just get the fan assembled into the fan housing. And you just put it together like that. Just lines up like that. Okay, and then our little screws in there. Then when we'll have that done, then you know, that piece is ready as a kit to go in to the to go onto the back of the radiator. All right, so there it is. Okay, so now we can set that to the one side. We can just sort of hook this on here, and there's a little retaining clip there. It's hard to really see it in the light, but there's a little retaining clip like that you just sort of hook the harness onto. Okay, right, let's just set that to the one side. Okay, so stating the absolute obvious, this is the radiator. And just to show you anyway, in case you were wondering, this here is the radiator temperature fan switch here, and you just make sure that that little cover's on. That was already, you know, in place. I didn't remove that. That's the harness and the connector block for it there. So let's just fit the you know, the fan and the on its housing that we've just assembled. It just fits on there on those three location points. There's little tabs on there that have a threaded nut on the back of them, and so I mean, very, very simple. It just goes on with these three screws here. And I tend to, anybody who's seen my other videos before, I like to use a good quality ratchet screwdriver rather than getting into, for stuff like this, rather than getting into sockets and all that sort of stuff. And I like to use these wee socket type attachments. This one here's a 10mm one. I like them because, you know, they've got a very thin sort of wall on them there, and they're very, very handy, you know, to rather than you know, getting into a socket there for stuff like that. But you know, in other places, you know, I mean, they've a thin wall on them, like I was saying, that sometimes even a socket you can't get access to. But anyway, so look, this couldn't be any easier. It's just three screws on here, and here, and you know what I mean, like it's like a 2-minute job, not even a 2-minute job, 30-second job to fit that on. Simple as that. Like, there's no, you know what I mean, there's no torque value to that. It's just, you're just nipping them up. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll just turn this over and put the screen on the other side of it. Okay, so this is the stock radiator screen. It's a brand new one. I just, you know, I mean, I know you can get aftermarket stainless steel ones, carbon fiber ones. You can get all sorts. But just look, I just like the plainness of the stock one, and this is a stock OEM Kawasaki one. And I mean, Kawasaki has like a little rubber, sort of diamond shaped rubber damper that they have fitted on the bike from new, and it's a rubber damper that just sort of inserts in here, and it's supposed to sort of stop the screen from causing vibration. But I tend to not want to use that. A lot of people don't use it either because it has an issue there that it rests against the radiator itself, and with the with the vibration, it kind of wears a hole here in the actual radiator itself, and causes a leak. So I mean, I don't know how popular people or how widespread this information is, but a lot of people on the forums know about this, and they just simply take this damper off, this rubber damper, just remove it, and don't use it, and I'm the same. I'll not be using anything like that. But anyway, look, getting back to the screen, this is a 2-minute job. See these wee tiny, get this into focus here. See these tiny wee hooks here? There's 2 of those. They just go over these 2 tangs here. See the wee U-shaped kind of channel part of it there and there? Well, that just sort of keeps that located into position so that it doesn't sort of shunt about. And it's just basically hooks on there and there. It couldn't be any easier. And to retain it is these 2, well, they're basically thick self-tapping screws. And to put those in, I'll be using a JIS screwdriver. So again, I mean, hardly need to go into any detail about it. It's just a 10-second job to put those on. Simple as that. I'm hoping you still see that all right. All right, there's it there. That's it. You're just nipping them up. All right. So that's that. Now, next. Okay, so like I was saying earlier there, these are custom Radiator brackets, aftermarket ones that I have been using, and they're absolutely perfect. They were made by a friend actually in Canada, and they're as light as a feather. And some people prefer to use this type, because not only are you saving weight, they're as light as anything. Secondly, you'll notice here on this radiator, this is a stock radiator shroud. When you put the radiator on, you have to actually put this on as in place before you can connect the hose into the radiator, and that means then that you can't actually take this shroud off until you disconnect, drain the coolant and disconnect the hose, and from the radiator itself, before then you can take this off. You don't actually have to do any of that with these custom brackets. But anyway, these are the stock ones, and they've been completely refurbished. And I want, for the look that I'm going for with this bike after this rebuild, I'm gonna use them again, But anyway, you have to put these little rubber grommets in, and we've got to get those in there like that. See, like that, and then the other one as well. I'm just trying to keep that in the focus of the frame there, you know, so that you can actually see that. I'm trying to do this in such a way that it stays in place. But anyway, there they are in place. And again, these here are aftermarket top hot spacers. The stock ones would be just steel, and they go in from the back like that. That's the way they are there. Okay. And then again, the stock steel screws are just basically a screw with like a backing washer to it. But no, I preferred to use my own titanium. I machine these titanium ones, so that's the way they would go in there, like that, and like that there. So that's how that's going to look. Okay, so we're not worried about fitting them just yet, but we need to get this built up on the other one as well. All right. Okay, so that's the two main sub-assemblies done, the radiator and the shrouds. And like I was saying, these wee titanium screws here that I'd made, they just basically go in there like that, and like that, you know. And but as I say, we're not sort of worrying about those yet. And of course, also there's these ones. These are the upper radiator mounting screws. Again, they will just fit in there like that there. You know, one on either side. You know, that's the way they'll be. And so what else is there? Yes, there's this heat shield or heat shroud. It goes on top of the goes down on top of the cam cover, and like I was saying there, you've got this part here, which is you know, a part that I made. That's just basically a top hat spacer, you know, and that goes in there like that, and then that there goes like that, just screws down onto the top of the cam cover. It's a tricky tricky way to get this. There's a sort of like a knack to fitting that in, which I'll show you later how that's done. So there's that. There's that there. What else is there? Oh yes, there's this is the coolant pipe here, like I was saying earlier, and this little O-ring here that goes on there like that, and then that, you know, a wee bit of grease around it, and then that goes into the front of the water pump housing. So there you go. That's the other two screws there for that. So that's basically that's about it. You know, there's really nothing more I can. Oh, why? these two hoses as well. So I need those as well. Those are essential. But that's basically it. And that's just really, you know, there's nothing more. I mean, it looks like a lot of parts, but there's really nothing to it. So really nothing more I can show you on that apart from fitting it, which will be next. All right, guys.